Speaking of loyalty, Greg Way, Josh Prayer writes in and says, Beyond.
Beyond.
Dear Greg Cullen, in the ever-rotating third chair with the recent announcement that Rise of the Tomb Raider is an Xbox exclusive, a lot of PlayStation fans are feeling betrayed and angry at the news. Why, after Tomb Raider started on PS1, would they choose now to alienate the fan base of PlayStation? What is your opinion on this? Is Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics making a bad decision, abandoning the PlayStation fan base?
So I'm real quick. As far as I understand, that is not a real exclusive. Like I've been reading online that it's a timed exclusive, and like the language is all fuzzy. So I don't know one way or the other. But I've been reading a lot of.
You were living this morning,
and yeah, that's right.
There's no time to think about my grammar. You were alive this morning.
I was living and breathing, kind of a sort. No, but the thing about this is that over time, PR speak has become increasingly flexible on this point, and I think it was established without any of us agreeing to it, but like just by not calling it out, that a couple of years ago, that they just started calling timed exclusives,
yeah,
because they technically had. Well, no one's called them out, and no one's called them for their bullshit.
Right.
So I mean, it's just like.
But Mitch Dyer was trying to catch me up on it this morning, saying that originally it was an exclusive this holiday season. Everybody's like, oh, it's exclusive to that. And then they went through on their Tumblr blog post and said, no, exclusive, comma, and coming. Like, it's not. They were making it sound like it is definitive that it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to do more research. We haven't had much time.
Yeah.
But this reminds me a lot of, like, didn't Microsoft, like, tweet that Metal Gear Solid 5 was exclusive at one point or whatever? There's just, like, all sorts of, when they had Kojima on stage, like, that was a thing.
People throw that word around. Here's the one thing. Here's the fly in the ointment.
Slow it down.
So, we don't have time to go slow. We go fast. Woo woo! No, we
Podcast Beyond 355. Gotta go fast.
No, but, so this year, you heard at Gamescom, everyone was like, "Yeah, so this is going to make its console debut." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're being very specific about if the game is coming late. If they know the game is coming later to another console, they are using that verbiage.
Sure.
So I would imagine that if they just said exclusive, and they certainly did just say exclusive, that they at least to their knowledge think the game. There are no plans at this point, at the very least.
Yeah, someone's got to ask.
For the game to come.
Someone's got to ask them: are you making a PlayStation 4 version of this game or a PC version of this game?
Right.
Also, Greg, if you swallow that water as loud as you just
there's
did,
no time for this kind of sidetracking.
When you want
the
to
Tomb Raider thing, he's offended as a PlayStation fan. It makes sense. I mean, I assume on a business level, right? Like Tomb Raider sold well, but they talked about the fact that it didn't sell as well as they wanted to. It wasn't a success by their numbers. So you're assuming they come to him with Rise of the Tomb Raider like, hey, you're not going to sell that much, so here's what Microsoft's offering compensation-wise to make sure that it's that.
And as we know from the PS3 to PS4 ports, it took us all of 8 months to get the definitive edition of Tomb Raider on PlayStation 4, so thank you for that.